Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
Mach.
Sheen Washable.
Nope.
And the Red Baron.
Meow.
It's a special show. We're recording from Thimble Island Brewery in Branford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Awesome brewery. I know we've all been here. We are joined by
Gina Gentile.
Welcome.
And what do you do here?
My official job title is our tourism and retail manager, but I do wear many hats around here. I have managed the bar for a couple of years. I help out driving sometimes. I'm also helping out in sales recently because we did just hire a few new sales reps. So I do wear many hats.
Your business card should just say everything.
I know.
Just everything.
All of it.
Thimble
All
Island,
of it.
Gina, jack of all trades. Well, it's good, though. I mean,
Yeah.
you know the business. You know the
Yes.
whole ups and downs. Now, I'm trying to remember. I went on a tour a long time ago, and if I remember correctly, you were here when this started, right?
Yes, I was.
You're one of the
I've been
original
with
crew.
the company for about 5 years now. This location has been here for about 2.5 years. And then I was in our old location, which was right up the road, about half a mile. Our old place was about 3,000 square feet. This facility is about 30,050 square feet. So we're about 10 times
Wow.
the square footage since moving here.
I came here the day the new location opened.
Yeah.
And there was it was nice, but there was nothing in here.
nothing.
Like these tables weren't here. Me and my brother came in. We were getting ready for his stag. And it came up on the GPS that it was open. We can't, and it was nice. It's much nicer now.
Yeah.
It's full. But yeah.
The day that we opened, I was actually in the warehouse building all of the chairs that you guys are sitting in right now. So that is why you didn't have anything
There
to
was
sit
nothing
on
in
that day.
It was funny because when I went on my tour, it was awesome because you guys do a little bit of contract brewing.
A little bit, yeah.
And I remember they had the stacks of just all the empty cans.
Yep, those
Those are
are still
awesome.
actually back there.
Those are-
We just released our Thimble Lager again for the spring and the Session 45. So those are 2 spring can releases. Those are 12-ounce cans, 12 packs that are available. I could give you guys one to try or bring home. You're more than welcome to one.
Online beer reviews. We will have all the information, any upcoming events and addresses and stuff to come down here. You guys can try it out. But for now, let's talk beer. Starting lineups. Red Baron, do you have yours?
I do.
Did you forget yet?
Well, I have a rough idea, but that's kind of like my MO to always kind of like you tell me and then I'll forget exactly what it is.
Wrote mine down.
See, much better man than I. So it's a Russian Imperial Stout, I believe, but I don't know what the rest of the name of it is.
It's called MAD.
Mad.
MAD actually stands for Mutually Assured Destruction.
I like that.
That beer we've been making for about 4 years now. It's a one-time-a-year beer. Very
flies.
expensive to make, but it's also pretty high in alcohol content. It's about an 11%, which is why you get a little bit less of a pour. It's typically a 10-ounce pour. I call it a dessert beer just because it's more of like a sweeter cherry banana flavor
That's cool.
notes to it. But it is one of our best sellers too. So.
Well, today it's breakfast, so I'm very excited for it.
For everyone, it's 9 a.m.
Well, the liquor store I work at, we fly through that stuff, especially when the
Yeah.
barrel-aged one comes out.
Mm-hmm.
That one's very tasty.
I have the experimental 170 Arctic Wolf Double IPA.
You excited?
Yeah.
Can you
Very.
tell me all about it?
Not yet.
Did
Gina
you
can.
try it yet?
I haven't tried it yet.
No.
I can
okay.
never wait. Like, we're always supposed to wait, but because normally we have like a bottle or a can, and we like make the cracking sound when we open them. But when they're in a glass, I can't wait. And then I have the double coffee stout, which I'm assuming is just a revamped of their original coffee stout.
It's actually made completely different.
Really?
It's not from the regular coffee stout at all.
I assumed.
It was made with a different type of coffee bean than our regular coffee stout, and then this one's infused with cinnamon. So it's going to taste more like an espresso as opposed to the regular coffee stout, which is a little bit on the lighter side. heavier beer, also higher in alcohol content too. This one was available in cans this past winter. It already sold out. It's not coming back until next winter. So
I think I remember
we have the
can.
last
Was
of
it like a brown label, right, with coffee beans on it? I remember that.
Yep.
We had it for like 5 minutes, and then it was gone.
Or we could do a toast to excellence for just being here. So Mach
Yeah.
and I could toast it. You give us the air one.
I'll cheers.
Cheers with the iced coffee.
Yep,
there.
cheers with the iced coffee. Now, I know a few people I've talked to have this question. When is the next series of Islandhoppper beers coming out? Do we know?
It will probably be out next month.
Excellent.
We don't know which island it's going to be. We have 3 different contenders. We still haven't chosen yet. But it should be out next month.
So the Islandhoppper series, for those of you who don't know, was it was a limited release, and it was very nice, very colorful, white and some color label, and they're named after some of the Thimble
The
Islands
different
here.
islands off
in-
of
We've
the
had a
Thimble
couple on the
Islands.
show before.
Yeah, I buy them every time we get them. They're so good. Like, I don't really drink a lot of IPAs anymore. More stout and porter kind of guy, but those are really good. I'm a big fan because you've had Real, Money, and
Cut in Two.
Yep,
Was
Cut
the
in
other
Two.
one. Yep.
that was
Cut
the
in
red
Two
one,
is
right?
red.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Money is blue,
This guy
Money
knows his
blue,
cans.
and then
Really?
real is green.
like a seafoamy kind of green, right? Yeah.
And you work at a package store?
Yep.
Which one?
Connecticut Beverage Mart in Middletown. Shout out
Okay.
Shout out.
for 5 more days.
Why, you're leaving?
I'm leaving.
Oh, you're
We're going-
quitting.
Yes, moving up into a career,
Oh, okay.
but it's still in the industry.
This is the first time. This is breaking news to listeners. They're getting this information.
Yeah. Well, I might still be there part time.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you got to get 25% off beer somehow. That's the way to do it. But there's definitely a hot market for Thimble Island beer.
Yes.
We sell a lot of it at
Good.
the store. A lot of people sell it. You guys have a
See
good,
it everywhere now.
Yeah, and it's a good variety. I mean, you can see a lot of these breweries come out with like a lot of IPAs and like one stout. But not you guys. You guys have a good
If
selection.
you actually look on our, what is it? Untapped. Is it Untapped? No.
Beer menus?
No. What's the thing that everyone goes on and votes for what their favorite beer is? Is it Untapped?
Is that
Untapped
Advocate?
is like you like rate
Or
the
Beer
beers and
Advocate?
stuff
Yeah.
and all that
Untapped. Okay, so it is Untapped. If you go on Untapped, all of our highest rated beers are all of our porters and our stouts. The Russian Imperial, the double coffee, the regular coffee, vanilla coffee stout, pumpkin porter. Those are all our highest rated beers. So our brewers do know what they're doing with
Yeah. I feel
the
like
porters.
the IPAs are good. Like, I don't know, this might just be me, but like the not just Thimble Island, I mean just beer in general. But like the tropical flavors are good, like the juicy, the hazy, all that stuff. But I just feel like a dark beer is it's a real beer drinker's beer. There's just something about it.
I try and like them. I don't like coffee,
Yeah, they don't
So-
all have coffee.
but it just deters me.
We got to get you.
I'm
Not
trying.
all of
I
them
try.
have coffee. That doesn't have coffee in it.
This is really good.
The best way to
I don't
start
feel
it.
What
so,
gives
but I
it
don't
that
want to.
color? What gives it that color is the type of grain that we use. So the silo that's outside that has about 10 tons of 2-row grains in it, that is made with a dark chocolate grain. So it looks similar to like a sunflower seed, and that's what's boiled to give it that color. So there isn't anything that's turning it that color other than the grain.
You said those are 11%, right? The Russian stout.
Yes.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go out and we're gonna get. I actually have a 4-pack at the house, and we're just gonna make you funnel them until you like them,
Yikes.
or can't
Don't
walk,
do that. Don't do that.
or can't walk.
I
Either
got
way.
stuff to do later.
We won't do it today. We'll do it tomorrow
Fresh start.
on the live show. We'll do it so that way people can hear you. But so next month, I'm so excited. This is turning
Yeah.
into quite the excitement for me. So, are there any besides the Islandhopper series? Is there any new beers you can tell us about in the future? Any projects that are being worked on?
So the experimental series is revolving. They're always going to continue to do that. Those are always going to be available on draft. They're never going to be put in a bottle or a can. We're on 170 now. The guys have no plans on stopping anytime soon. It's going to get up there to like 199, I'm assuming. But that was it first came about because of basically mess up. They made something that was supposed to be something else. Then they tried it and they're like, wait a minute, this is really good. Let's keep going with this. And they did. The reason why it's experimental 170 or whatever is because it started from our first 30-barrel fermenter that's in line. So all of our fermenters are labeled. So not as creative, not as good of a story as I was intending, but
It's a good name.
the name did start from the fermenter that it first started off in.
Now, you say draft. Are they brewery draft only, or do those ever go out?
Nope, they go out.
To breweries and stuff?
As of right now, we're in about
bars?
1,700 different locations in Connecticut. It's probably about a 70-30 split, 70% package stores, 30% bars and restaurants. So yes, absolutely, our sales reps are able to sell as many kegs as they would like.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a clean cut package. I'm a big fan of it. You know, the rope knot type of thing, and
It's actually a square knot.
square knot.
Yep, it's the first
There's
knot.
no square edges on it. What are you
No,
talking
there
about?
isn't. It's actually the first knot that you learn how to tie in Boy Scouts, and it's also the only knot that gets continuously stronger with time without having to pull it.
Like beer.
So you know how to make it, Kendall?
Like us.
I knew you were gonna do that. Yes, I know. In fact, that's kind of like the go-to knot I tie. You know, maybe the only one I remember.
Kendall's an Eagle Scout. The Red Baron. He's
So, yeah, plenty of square knots in my day. I much prefer it on my bottles and cans than actually
Yeah.
tying them.
Now, one of the cool things I've learned is, and I show customers all the time, and they're always like amazed by it, is on the 6-packs, I like that the barcode is like in the ocean kind of thing, and you can scan it. It's wonderful. It's like, I don't know how, like, I don't know
Which
if
beer?
the American ale has it.
It's
and
in the ocean.
It's like part of the design almost.
Oh.
Like the way the barcode works on the side of the 6-pack. I don't know if that was like on accident, but it blends in perfectly.
Well, we have a graphic designer who works here, and she's the one who designed it, so I will let her know that you like that feature.
Yeah, it's just because like you just sit there and you're like, the first time I saw it, I was sitting there looking for it, and I'm like, well, this is a problem.
I promise you, this isn't free.
So I was scanning the bottle forever because it's clearly on the bottle, and then I looked one day and I'm like,
Well, some of the barcodes are on the bottom of the carrier, and then some of
Yeah.
them are on the side.
it works in. We'll look at it after the show.
Okay.
It's beautiful. I like it. And you guys do a lot of
The
local stuff too.
barcode.
Yeah, everything is beautiful. It's all encompassing. And you guys do a lot of local stuff too, right? In Branford, I know. I went on the
Yes.
Thimble Island, the actual tour, on
The boat tour?
The boat tour,
Yep,
and
our beer is over there
Yep, I
on
think
the boat.
I went last summer, and they were
Mhm.
featuring the Ruby.
So the Ruby just came out this week.
Yeah.
Last week maybe.
we have it.
That is a big spring beer. It's considered a tart blonde.
Mhm.
It's about a 5.3% alcohol content. Very bitter. That's the whole point of being a tart. It's also kettle soured. So kettle souring means we've added salt during the kettle phase. The kettle is usually where you would do all of your hopping or adding all of your extracted sugars. So this is where we added the salt to give it that tart flavor.
So we went on the boat, and they had liquor options, and I was very surprised. I was like, this is like a 30-minute tour, and they have a full service bar on this boat. But if you ordered one of those, you got like a little ticket for a tour for 2.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I have a tour for 2. We're
Good.
going. Me and Mach.
I can
right.
give you some of those tour passes.
So you said you've been in this location for
About 2.5 years.
2.5
It'll be 3 years in July.
Any plans on moving bigger?
No.
a good
Yes,
location.
we do want to be bigger eventually. We do plan on expanding our tanks, but we don't want to necessarily leave this facility. It's kind of a pain in the butt to move those tanks.
Yeah.
Once
So
they're
you guys have a nice tap room. It's
Yep.
very wide open with the windows, and you guys have a great garden or lawn area.
So we do plan on expanding the tasting room as well this spring. We do have a lot of construction coming up within the next 2 weeks. So keep an eye out for that. The tasting room is going to have some cool new features.
Yeah, if you're looking for something to do on a Saturday or a Sunday, I mean any day really, but weekends people work, unfortunately, bums. But in the spring, summer, fall time when it's nice out, the outside area,
Yep.
real fantastic. to be
Yeah.
in. You got the games out there and everything.
We have cornhole. We have food trucks on the weekends. Saturdays and Sundays are the brewery tours. On Saturdays, they're at 12, 2, and 4. On Sundays, they're at 1, 3, and 5. And then usually in the spring, we do put out our picnic tables, and the whole patio is open. The lawn is open. And then obviously the tasting room as well. It's open 7 days a week.
It's beautiful. When you came, you sat outside, right?
When I came, I don't think it was springtime. I think it was in the winter. It was
it?
like January.
Oh, because you were getting ready for the stag.
Yeah.
Kendall worked it. He
I
worked
it.
He worked
I
an event
forgot.
here.
I worked. What fest was it?
The Harvest Fest.
Harvest
So that's
Fest.
our fall festival.
Did you hit
that
your
were
head on
here
the way
for.
in here? You've forgotten everything so far.
It's early. It's early for me. But that was amazing. Food
Yes,
trucks,
we
they
had
had
a good
bands
turnout.
playing. I mean,
We had a bunch of vendors out here. There was people serving waffles. There was some local vendors that were doing like barn signs. They did like refurbished wood and things like that. And I think we had a ton of free giveaways. We had an outdoor bar out there. We had our jockey boxes all set up. We were doing sales on merchandise, and we do have our band too. Our distribution manager is actually in a band, so he was playing on that day too.
Waffles are a dangerous thing to serve with beer. just fills you up and soaks it all up. 4 beers can
Keeps
very
you
quickly
going.
turn into 8.
Keeps you going.
It definitely keeps you. It's, yeah.
Oh, and we also had it catered by The Stand. The Stand is a local barbecue place that's in Branford, and one of our bartenders is actually the pit master there. So we try to be as local as we can and use all of our resources.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
So, I'd like to. You guys are familiar with their beers, so I'd like to take quick guesses, and then maybe Gina can confirm it. But what do you think their best selling beer is by like volume? Not like just any beer.
I would assume one of like the
No, it's
the
gotta be
American
one.
ale or
don't
the
say one
IPA.
of. Don't say one of. I said the one.
The American ale.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the vanilla bean coffee stout.
Vanilla coffee stout.
Yeah, I don't know why I said vanilla bean. Thinking of the ice cream.
Yeah, I forgot all about that beer. That stuff's real good. That stuff, yeah. I think it's the Ghost IPA. We sell at least, and I mean, I'm going based off my store only.
You're cheating.
No, that's not. No, because things sell differently in different places. I can give you a list 5 miles long of things that we sell none of that a package store down the street sells tons of.
Well, I'm
Would
waiting.
you like me to tell you?
I would like to know.
Okay.
I know
So-
from my store it's the Ghost IPA.
So the American ale accounts for about 21% of our annual sales.
Mark, you don't get
but the
credit.
Ghost IPA accounts for the other
The
percentage.
Ghost is the second bestseller. Yes. The American ale is considered our flagship product. That was what our CEO and our brewmaster first came up with back in 2007. It was first brewed in his garage. It was perfected, and that's what we opened the company with in 2010. So that has also been around the longest as well. It's also the first beer that we ever kegged, first beer that we ever bottled as well. At one point, it was the only beer we had on draft. And second beer that we produced was the coffee stout. And then we mixed the two of those together to make our black and tan. So third beer that we produced was our single IPA. No one has that. But that one is a close third from American and Ghost.
One of the greatest days in my history at the package store was we were talking before the show about our sales rep. Shout out to Dave. But he brought us in. He was coming in. I think it was when you guys first started releasing the lager. And he came in, so he had a can of the lager, but he also brought us in like a mixed like box of beer that was brewed that day. And I think it was the coffee stout and the double Ghost. And my goodness, tasting a beer like the day it's made, bottled.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's pretty fresh.
The Thimble IPA was the first IPA that like made me start drinking IPAs. That was the first one.
What was the first Thimble Island beer you ever had, Kendall? Was that the first Thimble Island beer you had? Was the IPA?
The first one I had was the American ale.
Yeah.
And but the IPA was when I was like, huh, these are really good.
Kindles might be interesting because it's probably something I brought home.
Oh, I'd imagine. I mean, in my head, I would say the IPA, but now I'm thinking it's probably that vanilla bean.
No, it's not bean.
That I
You're
made
gonna keep
up.
saying
No bean.
Thanks for ruining the joke.
So the vanilla coffee stout, this is actually a really funny story. We first came up with that in our old location. And someone was like, well, what if we try adding vanilla? People like vanilla coffee, and this is a coffee stout. Why don't we add some vanilla to it? So our CEO, who's an absolute genius, he was previously an engineer. He went and got some vanilla and infused each keg with vanilla. And then we took the kegs and rolled them back and forth to kind of mix it with the coffee, the coffee stout that was already in the keg. And then we tapped it and it came out awesome. So we're like, wow, maybe we should make a whole batch of this. And we did. We made a 30-barrel batch of it and it sold out in 4 days. And we're like, wow, I guess we need to make this a thing now. So probably within 6 months, we had it all filed. We had our DCP approval and we started bottling it in 4-packs. And actually, when we first started infusing the kegs, the alcohol content was only about a 6, which is what the coffee stout is. And then after we brewed it, we're like, oh, wow, we just turned it into a 7. So it upped a little bit in the alcohol content after we brewed it. But it worked out really well, which is why it's available in 4-packs and not 6 because of the alcohol content.
Yeah. I can pretty much think of one beer for almost every brewery that like gets distributed that I'm like, I'd be okay if I didn't drink that again. But I don't really have that for Thimble Island.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really drink a lot of IPAs, but like the regular one, I mean, it's easy drinking. Like it's not anything that like burns out my palate or anything like that. And the Ghost one, there's something about it. I don't know what the flavor is that like is completely different than everything else. I haven't been able to pinpoint it yet.
Well, the Ghost Island Double IPA is dry hopped. So that's when you're adding hops during the kettle phase and also the fermentation phase. So it gives it more of a crisper flavor, and the type of hop that we use is a Citra. So that's what gives you that grapefruit flavor too.
It's good stuff.
All about it.
All about it. All about it. What's your favorite beer?
The Ghost.
The Ghost?
Mm-hmm. The Ghost Island Double.
So I kind of win. Because I said that one. I kind of win mine.
No.
You kind of lose. Get over it.
So how soon will the vanilla bean be out? Is that my question?
No vanilla until next year. We're just getting into the warmer weather. So the vanilla probably won't be out again until, I don't know, December.
Look,
Don't hold your breath.
Be on the lookout for the Red Baron contract with the vanilla bean coffee.
We need two. We have the vanilla and the vanilla bean. Just it's subtle. You can really taste the bean in the package. That's what it is.
The package just has like your stupid face on it. That's it.
Eyes are
no,
closed.
No Thimble Island or anything. Just your face. No glasses. For anybody who knows the Red Baron, if you see him without glasses, he has no eyes.
No eyes.
None at all.
They just disappear.
Disappear into my head.
It's amazing. It doesn't make any sense. So have you guys made any tried to do any really outlandish brews that have failed or just were in the brewery only? Because you see some of these weird beers
they go way out.
Yeah, Foolproof made one and Half Full with the oysters, and then there's those Sriracha beers.
Rogue is all over.
Pretty
the
much
place.
anything Evil Twin puts out has got some weird ass ingredient in it.
We haven't. I mean, with our casks, we do a cask every weekend here. I think it's only about 5 gallons that the guys make. And they'll experiment a lot with the casks. The thing with those beers, the ones that you were mentioning, if it doesn't sell, now we have a shit ton of all of that beer just sitting here, and that's a waste of product. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of our sales reps' time. We don't ever want to have to sit on a product for too long. So that's why with the casks, they're able to play around with it, put whatever they want in it.
And then if it doesn't work, it's just 5 gallons.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, it's just 5 gallons. It's no big deal. But they have put ghost peppers in it. They have put Lucky Charms in it. They have put margarita mix. They put fruit in there. They put all kinds of fun stuff. I think they've done M&Ms. They've done Skittles. They play around with that one. I think that's a good experiment for them. They look forward to making it every week.
Sounds exciting. Lucky Charms. That sounds pretty good.
Face lit up over there.
Yeah, Lucky Charms and a coffee stout. Yeah, that'd be rough. Now, so I know the tart is the tart blonde, the ruby. There, does Thimble Islands have any ambitions of jumping on the sour train at all? Outside of that, just that one.
So, any souring that we do have to kettle sour it. It's pretty dangerous to work with a live strain of bacteria. I don't know if anyone follows Two Roads, but they are opening another facility strictly for sour and barrel aging, only because it's safer to have a confined area for live strains of bacteria, only because they don't want to ruin the other beers that they are continuously working with. So the only souring that we plan on doing is kettle souring, just because we don't want to ruin the rest of our batches.
Makes sense. That's fair. It's a good insider thing for people wanting to know how like the beer business works. It's not all fun and games. There's a lot of risk that goes.
It is on my end.
So, I mean, obviously, we talked about there's the Thimble Islands here, right off the coast. But why the name Thimble Island?
So our CEO is actually from this part of Branford, which is considered the Thimble Islands. That's where it came from. It does make for an awfully long email address, though. ThimbleIslandBrewery.com. But that's where it came from, just because he's from this part of town.
We should start like a collaboration Thimble Island GSWD GoFundMe page to buy one of the islands. Put a brewery on the island with a beer-serviced ferry that goes to and from.
You would be surprised how many times I get that phone call.
Oh, I could imagine.
A lot.
It'd be pretty cool, though. When we went on it's one of those things, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. When I went on the Thimble Island tour, I just wouldn't know what to do with the whole island to myself.
I'm sure you'll find.
I was
something
gonna say
to do.
I would be okay with it.
Well, it's one of those things. When we were going, it's like 90% of me would be really excited, but the other small fraction, the 10%, it's almost like being like an animal at a zoo because like there's so many boats
Just
going
on
around just
display.
staring at you. Like there's
Yeah.
people outside having like there was just one family there. I think they were having like a family reunion or something. There's like these big banners. There was like tons of people, and they were out just like having like a family celebration. And there's like these 40 boats just driving by, just staring at them.
Here's Paul mowing his lawn.
I wouldn't. If I had a Thimble Island, somebody would be mowing my lawn for me.
Well, it's funny you brought that up because I remember in college I worked at the library with you, Paul, and I would go on privateisland.com.
Oh, yeah.
Be shopping. And
Which isn't a porn site, by the way. We'd like to.
I'd like to clear that right now. And I'd look for like islands for sale in the Thimble Islands. I was never successful, but
It's an
I just wanted
amazing
to see
thing.
what I was looking at, you know.
If nobody here or listening has been on that website, it was a huge thing in like the 80s.
Yeah,
to
80s
like
to own an
to like
island.
own your own island, even if they were like small. And now there's like a plethora of islands for sale.
It's like having an island is stupid.
There's like an island for sale like in like one of the rivers, like not the rivers, but like off one of the rivers in Connecticut. I want to say it's in Fairfield or something like that. It's only like $120,000. It's like a 12-acre island. It's not that big at all. You could build a shack there. Yeah. But it'd just be cool to own it. Like, oh, you see that piece of land over there? It's mine.
Yeah, that's
12 acres is a lot of land.
12 acres is pretty big.
You can build more than a shack.
Well, okay,
multiple shacks.
I'm skewed. I grew up on a 10-acre farm, so it was
Well, aren't you lucky?
no, not at all. Not lucky at all. It's terrible. You know how long it goes to get the
That's not
mail?
terrible.
You know how long it takes to get the mail?
Do you have
Forever.
like a little golf cart or something?
No, I had to walk, and it was in Florida, so it was just damp all the time. I could take a shower, go to get the mail, come back. It'd be 6 hours later, and I wouldn't be dry yet. It's terrible. Terrible.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
World problem.
Yeah, first world problems, right? So we talked about. Do you remember the event you worked, Kendall? Remember it?
Harvest Fest.
Good for you.
What
That's why I had the
beer are you drinking?
Vanilla bean.
Do you guys have any big events coming up?
So our Thimbibe happens every year. This year will be the third one, actually. We've been doing it since we moved to this location. So Thimbibe, yeah. That happens in July.
We'll be here.
And then our Harvest Festival is usually kicking off fall. And then we do have a ton of different events here on a weekly basis. On Tuesdays, we do trivia. Thursdays, we do military, fire, and police appreciation night. Everyone gets 20% off their tab. Friday night is teacher night. So any teachers that are out there, you get 20% off your tabs on Fridays. Saturdays are really big days for tours. A lot of people do Groupons too as well. So those get a lot of them get redeemed on Saturdays and Sundays. And then Saturdays and Sundays, we also do our food trucks too. So there's always food available. And it's also bring your own food too. People bring like pizzas, they'll bring bagged lunch, they'll bring picnic baskets, and they'll hang out here for quite a while, which is fun.
Have you ever had someone try to bring their own like outside booze?
All the time.
Really?
All the time.
I've always wondered that.
I have to yell at people for it literally on a weekly basis.
That's amazing.
I'm sure there's millions of stories like that. Like, oh, I'm just gonna have
It's
a
one of
little
those
bit.
things. Like I don't know why it surprises me. Like,
Or people will buy growlers, sit down, open the growler, and then give it to everyone who's sitting at the table, which is actually illegal. You cannot do that. You have to take the growler off premise and drink it. So yes, we do get a lot of that.
what a cheapskate move!
Really?
I know.
I'm just gonna get 64 ounce. Everybody gets a 4-ounce pour, and that's it.
Yeah.
You get the next one. So
We get a lot of people in here who try and bring in their own wine. I don't know why you would be drinking wine at a brewery, but we do have Jonathan Edwards wine for people who are not beer drinkers, who are kind of just tagging along.
that's a nice thing.
That,
Which
for
is
me,
fun, yeah.
Has been like the smartest thing any brewery can do is also sell wine, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't go to vineyards because they don't sell beer. I hate wine.
Right. Well, we do have it because there's a lot of people who they'll bring their mom out on Mother's Day, and she'll be
Hey,
like,
Mom, I want to take you to a
Mom,
place that's
taking you
about
to a
me.
brewery. So we do have it. And we also do like paint nights and things like that. So wine, yes, is here for a lot of ladies do prefer it. But we do have a lot of fundraisers and things like that. So we do have to try and market towards everyone who is attending. It's not just beer drinkers.
Yeah.
To me, it's genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have our wine on a kegerator, which makes it a little bit easier to swallow. But yes, our wine is in kegs, and we pour it like off a draft, just like you would beer.
It's just beer. They're fooling you. They just threw some
a
grape.
cider.
They just threw some
There's
grapes
a lot
in
of
that keg.
people. There's a lot of people who have like a gluten allergy too, so it's good for them too.
Yeah. What is it? Just out of curiosity, what does one glass of coffee stout cost? Just the regular coffee stout. You know offhand?
6.
6. So Rebecca, 20% off of 6. You're gonna walk out of here spending $5 on teacher night. That's good for her. She can only drink one beer. I don't.
Just one?
So it's not that she can only handle one beer. It's that it takes her 4 hours to drink one beer. It drives me nuts.
I think we're easier like putting an IV in a slow drip that way.
It's not something that she savors. It's just the lack of multitasking is not a thing for her. If she tried to do anything and drink the beer, it'd be everywhere. But we love her nonetheless. It's exciting the moves Thimble Island's making.
Yeah.
They're growing.
Yes,
They're
we
big.
do a lot of moves. I actually have an event in Farmington tonight. We try and do as many tastings and fundraisers and things like that we can. The one that I'm going to in Farmington is for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and that's at 7 o'clock. And then tomorrow, actually on Sunday, that's tomorrow. We have yoga in the events room. It's called Beer and Flow. So that's yoga, free yoga session with the purchase of your beer. So then we always have trivia on Tuesdays. I'm trying to think of all the other things that
Should
we
bring
have
Kyle to that.
on.
Kyle, beer trivia.
No to yoga.
I want to know where that started from. Was like the yoga with the beer thing, because I couldn't think of anything I'd want to do less than be active while drinking my beer. I would like to be in a stationary, preferably sitting or laying down position, and just drinking.
It's all trendy.
I can't do
That's what it
yoga.
is. They took two
I'm
trendy
not very
things
flexible.
and it's hitting off.
I've got this thing called a beer gut that
Gets in the way.
It prevents me from bending forward. I can bend backwards all day
I can't tie my shoes anymore without passing out.
without passing out.
On the 7th, we have a mind reading show.
Ooh. That could be very interesting.
That could be fun. And then there's also comedians that are coming too. Then we do a comedy show in April. Treehouse Comedy actually sponsors that one. And that sells out every time. There's like 125 people, I think. And it sells out instantly.
You should try and do some
But it is-
material.
it's fun.
Yeah, I worked some stand up for them. I can open for
Are
whoever's
you a
going
comedian?
on. Amateur.
Oh.
I performed once.
Problem is, he has everything in his phone, but he has to drink a lot to do it, and then he
I-
can't
I-
read his phone.
I can do it. It's just, I haven't worked it many times. We're doing other stuff. It's kind of like it's on the back burner right now. Do you guys do movies here? Like screenings on the back room?
We have a 10-foot projector screen in the back, and we do put all types of games on for like Super Bowl. Someone rented out the back room and had the Super Bowl playing the whole time. That was really fun. We've played March Madness in there. I know there's a lot of people who are big into that. Which is cool because the screen is like 10 feet. It's like you're playing with them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We should rent it out next Super Bowl, like a Getting Sports with Drunk party.
Oh God, I would have to sleep here.
It was a really good idea. The lady had something going with that.
Sell tickets.
Yeah. No, we can't sell tickets. We sell tickets. 100% of the proceeds go to Thimble Island Brewery.
Well, that's
Thank
all right.
you.
Yeah.
Leo, if
We'll take it.
If we host the party and
Yeah.
all the proceeds go to, we should write that down.
The problem is Kyle doesn't come to these places. We have another member of our crew. Well, we have two other ones.
We have
but there's-
two. Couldn't get
there's
off
one-
work today.
There's one Kyle that he'd win the hearts of everybody if he showed up. He's just a doof. We love him to death, but he's just a doof, and
That's actually probably the nicest word we've ever called him.
but it's so accurate. He's like, I don't know, like he's like a German Shepherd puppy. Like paws are too big for his body, falls over all the time. It's kind of like what Kyle is.
It's like a puppy with pants on.
He rarely has pants on. But he's really funny, especially when you get a couple beers in him, because everything just goes out the window for him.
Has he ever been here before?
No, Kyle.
Oh,
we're
okay.
just starting to turn Kyle on to more craft beer.
We had to make a sports show so he'll drink more beers.
Yeah, I mean, like he'll drink like some of the crappy like mass-produced domestic stuff, but we're just starting to get him to enjoy some of the realms of craft beer. We've got him probably.
Well, you should have him drink the Thimble Lager. The lager is, if you notice, it's red, white, and blue for a reason. It's trying to market towards the customer who still drinks Pabst Blue Ribbon, Budweiser, Bud Light, things like that.
He'd probably like that.
The main ingredients in a Bud Light nowadays is white rice and corn. Our lager does not have white rice or corn in it.
Spanish rice.
It has good old-fashioned beer ingredients. Yeast, hops, barley, and water, and that's it. So if he does like those beers, direct him towards that one. It was made just for those people.
Yeah, he didn't mind. I mean, like, take this with a grain of salt because he's Kyle, but he didn't mind the American ale either.
Oh,
I had
good.
him try that one time. Like he can't do like he likes some of the really juicy IPAs. Like
Say the Too Juicy from Two Roads is like,
yeah,
for
like,
some reason,
he
his
likes-
favorite thing ever.
Makes
Yeah.
no sense.
Yeah, he likes that kind of thing, but I don't think he really likes he's not really into like the regular IPAs. He'll pretty much just throw up on premise of a stout. He won't even try it. But we're getting him there. We're getting
He's
him there.
expanding.
He sucks.
And who's the other guy that you guys have? That's
Jeff, he'll
on?
drink anything you put in front of him.
Yeah, literally
He's
anything.
the complete opposite. If he was here, I probably would have given him the Russian Imperial Stout. No offense, Kendall. He would have remembered the name though.
Well, I was hoping to get the vanilla bean anyway.
Yeah.
So
There's no. I don't know. Do we still have vanilla? No.
You're thinking of that one limited beer they did, the baked bean stout.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
delicious.
It'll happen. It'll happen one day.
The next cask.
Wow, could you imagine just a cask full of beer and baked beans?
Sounds horrible.
It'd be
No.
very thick. Very.
Strain it a couple times.
Ugh. Oh man, there's certain things like I don't know which brewery it is, but there's some brewery that's doing a beer infused with Big Macs. Like,
If I had to guess, I would say Rogue.
there's like a line, isn't there? Like
Everything gross is Rogue Brewing.
We have made a beer. It was called Off the Branch, and we put apple cider donuts in it.
But that's feasible because like ciders and like
Yeah.
apple cider for the fall, but like Big Macs or
Yeah.
oysters.
Squeeze them.
I don't know if anyone here had the oyster beer at all.
No.
I've only know of 2 that are made.
Yeah, no thank
We
you.
had the
Did you
chocolate
try it?
oyster. Yeah.
It's literally like this. I think it's Foolproof makes a chocolate oyster one, and it's literally like taking like a piece of Hershey's chocolate, you put it in your mouth, like let it melt, and then you just lick the bottom of a ship. That's exactly what it tastes like. It's
Is there
just-
actual oyster in it?
yeah. They brew it with oysters,
Yeah, no thank you.
shell and all.
No thanks.
Some sand in there too.
Yeah,
It's
they
pretty
brew
good.
it. They brew it to get the taste from the oysters and then all the salt from the shell. And no, I don't want that.
No.
I love oysters. Don't get me wrong, big oyster fan. But
I like oysters and beer separately.
yeah, I couldn't see myself enjoying a nice oyster with a pint of American ale on the side, but not in it.
No.
Not in
Dunk it in.
Actually, we got Thimble Island. The story. We have a friend Vito. I don't know how to describe. Just ridiculous. But we came all the way down here for like a job interview. He made us come with him, and we had to sit in the car while he did the job interview. It was the most ridiculous thing in the world. He's like, "All right, I got to go to Branford for this job interview. So can you guys sit in the car while I do the interview?" And we're like, "Wait, what?"
Like the Pep Squad.
Keep in mind, we're already on the way, so we can't say no. So we're sitting in the car for like 45 minutes while he's doing this job interview. And then he drags us to Chowder Pot, giving us the impression that he's going to be paying for lunch. Doesn't. We have to pay for it. But I think that was the first time you might have had Thimble Island was there.
I think so.
Because I think we got the American ale because they
Yeah.
had it on draft day, the one right here in Branford, which is pretty much like across the street, right?
It's like right down the street.
Yeah, it's right
Yeah.
there.
That.
The one time I did the tour here, another lady on the tour made me so mad. And the tour itself
You got
was
to tell
good.
Gina. She's
No, the tour itself was great. But this one lady pointed to every pipe and was like, "So where's that one go? Where's that one go?"
I get every Looney Tune on the planet comes on my tours.
It drove me
All of
nuts.
Well, every tour too has like the one guy that knows everything about beer.
Yeah,
but he's
you're
wrong.
wrong.
But
Why
he's
are you on the
wrong.
tour?
But he's wrong at least once.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Oh, well, that's what I meant," or something.
Yeah.
You know, like
I get know-it-alls. I get people who know nothing. I get people who ask me if we make cheese here. Someone asked me that once.
What?
They asked if there was milk in all of those tanks that are in the back.
welcome to Thimble Island
I
Creamery.
I get all of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Someone ordered 30 cases of Heineken from me the other day,
Nice.
which I don't have to give you. I do. I get a lot of them. I get
Wait,
a
so you
lot
guys
of-
don't make Heineken here?
We
That
don't.
import beer that's not even made in the
We
United
don't
States.
make
Netherlands?
Heineken. We don't deliver it. I can't put it in my system. I don't even have a button for
It's
it.
not even a beer that's not made here. 30 cases of it.
It's not even made in this country.
Yeah.
That's
a lot.
30 cases.
30 cases. That's a lot of beer.
That's a big family.
And I
party.
said, well, I don't have Heineken, but I'll give you 30 cases of American Ale or Ghost Island. I have that. And he's like, no, I just want Heineken. Okay, fine. Take
Did he
your
come, did he
Heineken.
come in and ask, or did he call?
No, he called.
Oh, I wish he came
Yeah.
in. That was,
I
She was
know.
just like waltzing into like a brewery's like, oh, this says brewery. You guys sell beer. 30 cases of Heineken, and I'll take a pint of Stella while I wait. We don't have those things.
Slice of cheese if you got
A
it.
slice of cheese. That one baffles me. I mean, I guess I could see like the confusion, like of somebody who knows nothing about like the industry coming into a brewery looking for beer, but cheese.
Yeah.
Like,
Everyone
brewery.
is very easily offended nowadays. So you do have to, like, when that person asked me, I did have to be very professional and be like, what? No.
Actually, yeah, that
I
one
did
has
have
milk.
to bite my tongue with
Yeah.
that one.
No, but there's this
But
great
you do
place.
have to learn how to just
Oh, that's hilarious.
kind of brush it off and keep going.
Wish I was on that tour.
Just look like, what the
Milk?
What are you talking about?
Milk.
Well, it's just milk stout on the menu. Yeah, no, not filled with milk. Oh, that'd be so great. Just be like assuming like, oh, you guys have like those are all coffee, right? Like, did you guys just brew tons of coffee here? There's got to be, I mean, I imagine just in any industry, the liquor store industry, you can imagine the questions we get. Like people
Yep.
call all the time, like, "Oh, I have a party coming up, and I was wondering if you guys sell barrels of Jack Daniels." I'm like, what the hell do you think we do? Barrels of Jack Daniels? Yeah, it's gonna be $6,000. Or people will come in. They'll come into the store physically, and they'll ask if we deliver. And I'm like, you're here. Like, why do I need to? We're here now.
So now we've asked, because we've done a couple of the brewery shows outside of Thimble Island. What is like your favorite Connecticut brewery, if you have one?
So here's the thing. So because I'm here all the time, most breweries do have the same hours. So it's very rare that we actually get out to go to other breweries. My favorite brewery in Connecticut, obviously, is us. Aside from that, I have heard great things about Bad Sons. I've heard great things about Outer Light. I have been to New England Brewing Company, which I do like a lot. I like a lot of their beers as well. I'm a big fan of Sea Hag.
The first time, well, not the first time, but Mach and I went there to get some of the Imperial Stout Trooper when they did the release of it. And this was before they kind of like revamped their tasting room a little bit, because I mean, you said you've been there, right?
Yep.
So it's very small. But when we went there, there was no tables, no seating
nothing.
at all. It was just a line, and the line like ran right. They had these people there selling jerky, and it was just
Sausage.
That's how a lot of places start. Our old place did not have one stool in there. There was no chairs, no one sit, just walk in, do what you have to do, and go. That's how most places do open and do start. And our old location, actually, we did not have the licensing to sell pints of beer. So all of everyone's samples that we gave everyone were free. So we gave out free samples for 3 years while we were in that location. And the only thing we were able to sell was growler fills. So a lot of breweries do open like that.
So there's still a lot of breweries that just do that. I mean,
Yeah.
tons of. I mean, what's it called?
It all depends on their licensing. When we first started, there was only 4 other licensed breweries in the state of Connecticut. As of today, there's 61, and that's 8 years later. So craft beer has completely boomed in Connecticut. And
time.
every single brewery does something different, and that's just their own preference, and also it has to do with their licensing as well, which is cool though, because it gives everyone a nice, unique vibe.
Could you see Thimble Island ever teaming up with like another big name brewery?
Like
Like
collab
to do
beer?
a collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would love to do one.
That's always a fun thing, because it's I found that like liquor and wine, at least in like the store, they're very competitive. Like even like local stuff, like like Litchfield Distillery they really want you to buy Litchfield and not anything else, like even if it's Connecticut made. But like beer is very family oriented.
So
There's
we did that Russian Imperial Stout that he was drinking. We had that aging in barrels from Litchfield Distillery for about 11 months. So this past barrel-aged batch that we released was
The regular bourbon.
aged in the bourbon barrels from Litchfield Distillery, yeah.
Oh my god! Could you imagine the coffee stout aged in coffee bourbon barrels?
I don't think he's the one that
Yeah.
likes the coffee stout.
No
Try
dice.
it anyway. Same. We're going back to the same. You're gonna funnel them until you like them.
I love stuff like that. It's kind of like the television crossover, like the Flintstones, Jetsons.
I thought you were talking about funneling high percent beers. I was like, all right.
Well, that too. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
a big part of that series, I believe.
Crossover stuff is fun. The collab stuff, it's always interesting because you get like you said, it's just you put two masterminds together that as long as they think a little bit different, something magical is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing.
Our brewers, it's actually a really good vibe that they have. One of them is a biomolecular scientist. One of them is a chef, and then the other one was a coffee brewer beforehand. So the 3 of them put together makes an excellent team. They all have something different to bring to the table. So that's why all of our beers are so fantastic.
Have you brewed a beer here?
Have I specifically, like from start to finish?
Yeah.
Well, I've helped, but I haven't brewed my own batch.
She does
no.
everything.
When are we going to see like the Thimble Island, like the Gina special? Like
Well, that's gonna be the vanilla bean, right? I mean, we can talk about it.
No, it's not. I don't know. I probably will never do that, just because
don't say that. It's going to happen.
I'll give my ideas to the brewers and let them handle it. Like they could name it after me or something. Yeah, Two Roads did a whole girl brew. Every girl that worked there was able to work on it, which would probably be something that we would do. I wouldn't just do it myself, but I'd have the girls take part with me.
There's going to be a beer named after her one day. We're going to have to buy it in mass quantities. We're going to come in here, every growler they have available for purchase, fill it.
We do have a limit of the ounces.
We'll bring people.
Okay.
We'll bring enough bodies. Just come in with an entourage. Like, yeah, how many growlers can we buy? All right, multiply that by 60 people. Have you ever had anybody come in here and try to buy a keg from you?
All the time.
Yeah,
Yes.
I could see that too. But
We-
walking out of here with a keg, he's like, "Yep."
Well, I do it all the time. No, I'm kidding.
But you're different.
I do, actually. We are only allowed to sell kegs to people who currently hold a liquor permit, whether it's temporary or permanent. If you guys do want a keg for like a backyard barbecue, absolutely, we will do that. Just call your local package store and we will deliver it to the package store.
Yeah.
We can't deliver it to your house, but we will bring it to the package store. And if if that package store doesn't have our beer, they're still allowed to order it anyway, as long as they have a liquor permit. So we can get it to you pretty quickly.
It's very interesting. My new job. My new job. I have to pay like $100 to get a temporary liquor permit and distribution permit, so I can come in here and get a keg, huh? It's changed the game.
Yeah.
Our lives are ruined.
Do you have Capri's on?
Beer reviews. Beer reviews.
Yeah.
And,
That's cute.
so mine and Kendall's beer, like I said, they weren't strictly brewery only beers, but they were limited type of thing. So we're not going to see the double coffee or the mutually assured destruction till next winter. But Mach, you had the
the Arctic Wolf was really good. A lot of doubles sometimes are like super bitter and heavy. This was very smooth. I liked it a lot.
any specific flavor that popped out at you?
I got like a citrusy type flavor. Yeah,
Citra bean.
vanilla bean.
No bean, baked bean. What a great time I've had today.
Red Baron.
I had the Mad, very good. I could definitely see why it's called a dessert beer, very sweet, and what a great way to start the morning.
Yeah. I like the double coffee stout. I definitely got the espresso thing you were talking about. Like it was a little heavier than the normal coffee stout.
Yep.
I mean, I feel the booze a little bit, but that's also because just woke up and came here. But no, the coffee it wasn't overpowering. Like I feel like a lot of people, they see double coffee and they're like, oh, this is going to be like really really heavy on the coffee, but it wasn't like in your face like destroy your taste buds coffee. It was like you said, like that espresso-y kind of feel. It was stronger but not overpowering. I was a big fan. It sucks. Like, I drink coffees and stouts. I could definitely see myself like sitting down and drinking like 8 of these.
It's been a long night.
Yeah, I mean, I won't get up, but I could see myself drinking 8 of them. Wherever I'm sitting, when I get to like the 4th one, it's probably where my night's going to end. Bathroom and all, everything. Just can't move. Well, we thank you for having us. We hope you had
No
fun.
problem.
Is there any
We did.
social media they can find Thimble
Yeah.
Island?
So we're on Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is Thimble Beer. Facebook is Thimble Island Brewery. Follow us. That's where we update all of our new releases. Also, if you go on our website and subscribe to our newsletter, I send it out every week, and I put all of the new releases that are coming out. I think yesterday I sent it out. Our Farmhouse Wit is on. Our Ruby is on, which we talked about earlier. We do also have the Windjammer coming out, which is for spring. The Arctic Wolf. So I update the Facebook pages and the Instagram pages as well. So keep an eye on that. That's where all of the new releases are announced.
Follow, like, and subscribe. And
Yeah.
Maxine will post all that stuff on our Instagram and Facebook as well.
Yeah, our
find it there.
Facebook. You find us on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is GSWD_4.
Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's vanilla bean stouts or making fun of Kyle, which is just always a pleasure.
Subscribe on Podbean and iTunes, and find us every day from 7 to 8 a.m. on the Lieb Sports Network, and every Sunday from 11 to 1 a.m. on the PPRN Radio Network.
Live. Which, by the way, at some point we'll work it out. Come on, hang out with us on a Sunday,
Yeah.
Come do my tours on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, come down. They're good.
Ask the most obscure questions you can think of,
Have
Ask
some milk.
me anything. I most likely know the answer.
even if it's not about beer.
Even if no,
She's
I know my beer. I know my beer. I don't know everything.
I just
but
like going
I know
into the
my
brewery
beer.
tours, being like, so like, what's your stance on like the Civil War? Like, you know, like what do you? Like,
Who was right?
Don't ask me that. I'm
Who was
so awful
right?
at history.
So yeah, make sure to tune in live, every Sunday, and it was a fun time. I like this place.
Yeah.
Let's come back. We guys
You
do it tomorrow.
Come back.
We're coming back.
Come back not so early next time.
Yeah, that's our stupid social media guy's fault.
No, it's fine.
that dumb Mach washable guy.
It's fine.
So until next time,
Until next time.
this was Gina.
Cheers.
I'm the red. Oh my God, I'm something.
You're not the Red Baron.
I was thinking mirror in my head. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Mach.
Machine washable.
Nope.
And I'm the Red Baron.
Meow.